Hey, my friend, I'm glad you're here because today I'm going to answer a question that a viewer wrote in, and I get this question a lot, and it's about generational healing. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Carolyn. I'm so happy you're here. Today we're talking about generational healing and a question I often get. And the question is, how can I tell if it's my stuff or generational stuff? So what that looks like is, how can I tell if this is something that I need to just work through and figure out and create new habits and just get past this once and for all? Or is this something that's in my DNA and I can do some energy healing and release the genetic energy on that, and so I'm not carrying it anymore? I have 3 questions that I'm going to ask you to ask yourself that will help discern that for you. But actually, does it matter? My question is, does it really matter? If you're doing your work and trying to be the best version of yourself, and does it matter if you're letting things go, if you know that, wow, that was all mine, or, oh, that had a generational component too. It wasn't all mine. Some of my ancestors had something to do with that. It's nice to know, but we don't need to know. For our growth and expansion and where we're headed, you don't really need to know. But I'll go ahead and ask you the 3 questions that you can ask yourself if it makes you feel better, because sometimes it does make us feel better. Okay, so question number 1 is this something you've always had? It's always just been an underlying thing. It's bothered you, you're trying to get past it, you try to create different habits so that that's not a thing for you. Is it long-standing? Is it something that's just lingers, you can't seem to get rid of it? Okay, there's one question. The other one is a little bit similar to that, but is it something that you've done a lot of work on? Like, one of them is length of time. You've had for a long time, and the other one was, is it big and deep and just feels heavy, and you've struggled with it for a long time and you've tried a lot of different things. Is that what's going on? And you're like, why can't I get rid of this? Why can't I get past this? That might mean you've got some stuff in your DNA about it. So the third question is, are there some family patterns? Sometimes it's really obvious if you see other people, cousins, aunts, siblings, parents, that also struggle with the same things. So one thing that's obvious is phobias. If you have a phobia of something, and you have a brother and a dad and a couple uncles that also have a phobia about that same thing, most likely that's generational. And actually, most every client I've worked on with any kind of phobia always has generational attached to it anyway. So that's one way, one form of it. Another obvious pattern is female issues. I work a lot with people who are labeled infertile. Is there a sister? Is there an aunt? Is there a mom that all have had trouble with their female cycles? So many times I've worked on with a woman for this, and then months later I'll run into her somewhere, or she'll send me an email, or somehow I'll get back in touch with her, and I'll find out that, wow, it's so weird. When my stuff started healing, so did my sisters. That's strange. Well, if we're clearing generational things in the family line, of course that clears anybody else that's also carrying the same stuff. So those are the 3 questions. Has it been with you a long time? Has it just seemed really deep and heavy? And can you see actual other family members that have the same thing? Okay, so other things like that, money, abuse, addictions, there's certain things that are kind of obvious in family. And yes, some of that is what we learn and what we've been taught growing up, but oftentimes it's much deeper than that on an energetic level. So those are the 3 questions you ask yourself. And if you answered yes to all of those, like, yeah, I've had it forever, yeah, it's really big and heavy, and yeah, there's other people in my family that have this, then you know you're probably dealing with something that's generational. There are so many energy healing modalities out there. Some of them do generational work, a lot of them don't. Simply Healed is one that does. And we clear lots of generational things within one session. We just follow the energy and whatever comes up for that person. If it needs to be cleared and they have a desire to let it go, it will move while we're moving the energy. It's a beautiful thing. And I will say too that Simply Healed is simply a tool. It doesn't take the place of any other spiritual practice, any other personal development practice that you do. It's just an additional tool. So I hope those questions help you. Maybe you've been struggling with something and had an aha that no wonder I've never been able to clear that. And if so, make sure you find someone who does some generational healing work and see if you feel a lot better afterwards. Thanks for watching. Please hit the bell and subscribe, and I'll see you again next week. Shine on, my friend.